And I think probably this may sound strange, but we went in on a Friday.
Angus Young is a Scottish-born Australian guitarist and songwriter, a co-founder of the Australian hard rock band AC/DC. Young is known for his highly energetic performances, schoolboy uniform stage clothing, and the repopularization of Chuck Berry's Duck Walk. The world's 14th best-selling artist with sales exceeding 200 million records, AC/DC has released 16 studio albums, and songs like Highway to Hell, You Shook Me All Night Long, Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, and Back in Black have been staples of classic rock radio stations for decades. Their 25 times platinum 1980 album, Back in Black, is accountable for 50 million of those sales and is rated as the second highest selling album of all time. Rolling Stone magazine ranked Angus number 24 on their list of 100 greatest guitarists. And Young and his AC/DC bandmates were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2003.
We had two other ideas that we had before that we had worked on. Really was only two of the tracks. One was Highway to Hell.
If you enjoy these videos, please remember to hit the like button, as it does help us out a lot. And comment below who your favorite celebrity is that you'd love to see in an upcoming video. His full name is Angus McKinnon Young, but is also known as Angus. He was born March 31st, 1955 in Glasgow, Scotland, making him 66 at the time of this production. He stands 5 feet 2 inches tall. Angus has a large fan base on social media, which he uses to promote his music. As we all know, he enjoys posting pictures of himself wearing fancy outfits on his social media accounts. He prefers to dress in gowns in the colors red, black, and white. Angus Young is also very health conscious, and he only consumes nutritious foods and drinks fresh juices. KFC, burgers, chocolate, and ice cream are some of his favorite sweet foods to consume. While his fellow bandmates were known for living up to the rock and roll stereotype of being hard partiers, Angus Young is actually a teetotaler. Late AC/DC singer Bon Scott was known for his wild partying, and Angus's brother Malcolm Young was a huge fan of Jack Daniels. But Angus Young doesn't drink at all. The guitarist can only ever be seen chugging back a cold glass of chocolate milk or the occasional cup of coffee. Angus purchased his very first Gibson SG, and definitely not his last, in 1970 from a second-hand shop. He played it until it got wood rot because so much sweat and water got into it, he said, and he still has it to this day. I've still got it, and it's still my favorite guitar of them all. Being able to take inspiration from other artists outside your own genre is an important mark of being a great musician. Angus Young not only loves rock and roll, but is a huge fan of jazz, in particular Louis Armstrong, who he calls one of the greatest musicians of all time. After meeting and falling in love with Ellen Van Lockum in 1979, the two were married just 6 months later. Young is a heavy smoker, although he's remained a teetotaler for the majority of his life. According to guitarist Tommy Redd, who traveled with AC/DC, when the other members of the band were consuming booze, Angus was constantly drinking a huge glass of chocolate milk or coffee. In 2019, Young made a $19,260 donation to the Alzheimer's Society of Ontario. Canadian hockey referee Steve McNeil was raising funds in honor of his mother, as well as Angus's brother Malcolm, who passed away from dementia in 2017 by skating more than 19 hours in every NHL city in Canada in the course of a year-long fundraising campaign. Among Young's sporting interests is the Scottish football team Rangers FC.
But it was that weekend that we ended up, Friday and into the Monday, and we came out with all of the tracks.
Angus Young was born Angus McKinnon Young on March 31st, 1955 in Glasgow, Scotland. His mother, Margaret, was a housewife, and his father, William, served as a flight engine mechanic in the Royal Air Force during World War II. Angus is the youngest of Margaret and William's 8 children, and after 1963's Big Freeze, the family moved to Sydney, Australia. Young attended Ashfield Boys High School but dropped out when he was 15. Several of the young children were blessed with musical talent, and Angus first learned to play the banjo after restringing it with 6 strings, then began playing a second-hand acoustic guitar bought by his mother. Young purchased his first Gibson SG in the early 1970s and has continued to use various Gibson SGs throughout his career. Gibson thanked him for his loyalty by naming his signature guitar after him, releasing the Angus Young SG in 2000. Angus began his music career in the Marcus Hook Roll Band, which also included his brothers Malcolm and George. The band released the album Tales of Old Granddaddy in 1973. Young also played in the band Kentucky, later renamed Tantrum, before he formed AC/DC with Malcolm in 1973. Angus took on lead guitar duties with Malcolm playing rhythm guitar, and the band's original lineup also included vocalist Dave Evans, bassist Larry Van Crete, and drummer Colin Burgess. Angus considered several stage costumes such as Zorro, Spider-Man, and a Superman parody called Super Ang. And when his sister Margaret suggested a schoolboy outfit, Young's signature look was born. Margaret created Angus's first schoolboy costume, but after it eventually fell apart, he began wearing his old uniform from Ashfield Boys High School. In September 1974, Bon Scott replaced Evans as lead singer, and the band re-recorded their first single, Can I Sit Next to You Girl, with him. AC/DC's debut album, High Voltage, was released in February 1975 in Australia and reached number 14 on the ARIA charts. The follow-up, 1975's TNT, peaked at number 2 and was certified 9 times platinum in Australia. High Voltage was released internationally in 1976 and went gold or platinum in several countries. That year, the band also released Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, which went 6 times platinum in Australia and the US. With 1979's Highway to Hell, AC/DC reached a new level of success, finally breaking into the top 100 on the US charts. Sadly, Bon Scott passed away from alcohol poisoning in February 1980, and the band recorded their next album, Back in Black, with Brian Johnson on lead vocals. Back in Black went on to become AC/DC's most successful album, and only Michael Jackson's Thriller has sold more copies.
And we had actually been working with there was another guy we'd been working with, but that's the reason why we went on.
Angus Young's current anticipated income is $308,016, while his earnings in 2021 were $289,535, and his earnings in 2020 were $266,372, according to Forbes. According to our research and analysis, Angus Young earned a total of $255,717 in 2019 and a total of $237,817 in 2018 while doing the duties of a guitarist. Angus Young is paid an hourly rate of around $1,283. Angus Young's net worth is estimated to be $160 million. Ellen's homeland of Alton, a tiny Dutch hamlet, served as the inspiration for Angus and Ellen's 3-story residence, which they completed in 2007. There's a recording studio, numerous guest rooms, and a large backyard in this multi-million-dollar mansion. The Youngs also have a residence in the Sydney neighborhood of Kangaroo Point. Cars you'll find in Angus Young's garage include a Ferrari 458 Italia, a 1962 Ferrari 250 GTO, a Bentley 4.5-liter Vandenplas, a 1927 Bugatti Type 35B, a Rolls-Royce Phantom, a 1996 McLaren F1 GTR, (1965) Zola T70 Mark I, a 1935 Aston Martin Ulster, a 1973 Citroën DS23 Polaris, and a 1953 Ferrari 250 MM.